To start with, I'm Simon Kelson, so I'm the Managing Director of SBE Electronic Systems, or Telepen as some of you know it. I started with the business in March last year, about a week before COVID struck. So my first job was to walk in the door, say hello to everybody, go home. And I'll see you, get to know you on Teams. And some of the people are furloughed, and some people just went home, and I literally met them for the first time on Teams and didn't meet them physically for about another 4 months later. So that was my first lockdown story, and an interesting way to get to know the team. So what I want to do now, it's the post-lunch session, traditionally the one where everyone's feeling at their most sleepy. We've got two short 15-minute sessions. This is the first one, and I'm just going to talk to you about the future of SBE Electronic Systems Limited, because that's who we are. And I'm going to put this slide up. So just to give you a little bit of the background of the business, SBE was incorporated in 1967, but I don't think the business actually got going until the early 70s, or late 60s, early 70s. But that, according to Companies House, is when it started. So it's been going a little while. The two founders, George Sims and Chris Barnett, are still shareholders in the business today. Now they're octogenarian, and George is still involved. I speak to him most weeks. So George and Chris, one of the first things they did was invent the Telepen barcode symbology. So that symbology was created in the late 60s, early 70s, and is still an internationally recognised, not quite as recognised as it was, barcode symbology today. We manufactured terminals and readers as well, and it happened that our first order, George tells me, was from Manchester University, although we delivered, I think, the first order in, I think it might have been Sheffield, ahead of Manchester. And then at some point, and it's not entirely clear when this happened, Telepen was adopted as a trading name, but never really properly adopted as a trading name. So there is some confusion. I know when I've been on the call with people like DMU that they refer to us as SB. Some people refer to us and know us as Telepen, other people know us as SBE Electronic Systems. So there's definitely a confusion. And actually, the Telepen barcode symbology and the Telepen systems have that name as well. So there's a confusion between, is it a product, or is it us as a business who Telepen is? So that's where we are at the moment. So looking now at what we're thinking about for the future. And so new management, well, that happened right at the start of the lockdown. But what has happened in that time, we've seen a natural progression as I've been there and started to make changes to the organisation, that we've got a new tier of enthusiastic managers coming through and starting to run the business. And it goes right down from Barney and Kevin at the back running their sales areas. Daisy stepped up and is now running the administration of the business and also all the marketing. We've got Brian, who's come in to do the technical side of the business and run that as well. So we've created this new management structure, and in the meantime we've lost some of those older members of the team. So Alan Elks retired very shortly after I joined and was always planning to retire. So I had a month with him, just about, and he then retired in lockdown. So, and Mark Wiltshire also chose last year as a point where he was going to retire as well. So actually, the business in terms of people has changed enormously. We've set out on a new strategy, and this is something I had long conversations with the shareholders before I took over. They were very keen that we started to make things again. And we've gone from this position where They made terminals, barcode readers, they'd created a symbology. They actually made stuff. Now, when I joined last year, we had one guy putting stuff together in the business. And that is a substantial change, and we're reselling a lot of products. So the strategy is to start to make stuff again, and make stuff that is relevant and up to date. And we're looking to grow, and we create clear product roadmaps and updates. Now, straight after this one, Brian is going to talk to you about what we're doing with our existing product portfolio, and also what we're planning to do as well. So we've looked briefly at kiosks. Well, we've imported kiosks from across the globe, right way around the world from Australia. We looked at that and say, well, that's not sustainable. Why are we bringing bent metal halfway around the world to install it in the UK? So this year, we built our own kiosks. So some customers had kiosks delivered that were actually made in the UK this year. And that was fortuitous. I'd like to say it was foresight that said it, but actually, given the challenges that the global supply chain suffered, it meant that we could actually make those and deliver them rather than waiting for them, but actually it was a decision around sustainability originally. So we have made a small acquisition this year, and standing at the back of the room is Jonathan Lee.
Yep.
Jonathan joined us when we acquired a business called Firebee Limited in October last month. So Firebee brings an electronic design and manufacture capability back to the business. So they're based in Bristol, and we looked at them because they were helping us with another product range. We have a thing called an iWave board, which we sell via a catering distributor or a wholesaler, and that board is designed to recognise food, cook it for the right temperature and for the right length of time, and make sure it's ready to go. And it's all done automatically. You scan the barcode, pop it in, and it cooks it. So there's a lot of that being, or we hope a lot of that being used in the NHS, where they have specific needs on specific wards where you get you don't have regular meal times. Maternity springs to mind. Where you're never sure what time you're going to be ready to eat a meal, and so that deals with that capability. So we were looking at upgrading that technology, and we spoke to Jonathan, and I went down there and met him and thought, actually, this is perfect for us to regain that design and manufacturing capability. So delivering on that first part of the strategy. Now, Jonathan is going to tell you a little bit more about the bits and pieces that he can bring to the story as well, and also he will get involved in updating some of our existing technology. Kevin's spoken about the RB2, the device that goes on the wall, which allows room booking to work properly. Well, we're going to look at upgrading that type of technology. Some of the technology we put in our turnstiles, we integrate with our turnstiles as well, we're going to upgrade it all. And Jonathan will play a key part in that, and the team at Firebee. They're based out in Bristol. So
I know it well.
Yeah. So Brislington, yeah. So good. So that's Firebee and the acquisition. Now, I spoke earlier about the confusion with the brand. Who are we? Are we Telepen? Are we SBE Electronic Systems? Now we've got Firebee in there as well. There is probably plenty of room for further confusion around who we are and how we're known. So we're in a process at the moment. It's top secret. We were hoping actually that today we go Shazam, there it is, that's a new brand. But we haven't quite agreed on it yet. So there will be a new trading name for the business, and that will cover all elements of the business. So not only the stuff we do for libraries, the academic library sector, the stuff we do for commercial organisations and also for specific products like the iWave board, our design consultancy and the manufacturer. So we're thinking of a name that will cover all that, and as soon as we know it, we will tell everyone about it. But we can't do that right now. Yep. That will then see a brand new website and hopefully we'll get away from what we do at the moment, which is promoting other people's products on our website, to promoting our own and ideas and the future. So that's where SBE Electronic Systems is going. We will still have be the legal entity of SBE Electronic Systems, but we will just have that brand new trading name when we can reveal it. Okay. So good. That brings me to the end of my 5 minutes, or 15 minutes. I started a little bit late. But are there any questions at all about any of that I've mentioned before I finish? And hand over to probably what? Go for it.
So that means that in the future, all of the products will be made in the UK?
That's what we're aiming for, yeah. So it is that, it's that sustainable side of it, and also the desire to manufacture. We're not ever going to manufacture in such volumes that we need to think about offshoring it. We'll still do niche manufacturing in the UK. Yeah, go for it.
I understand your excitement and the positive nature of manufacturing in the UK. For those of us who bought a substantial amount of somebody else's product from you, i.e. kiosks, obviously this is a bit of a concern. They're long-term products.
So the long-term,
what's the?
We are going to continue to.
You're going to give us for those
absolutely. So we're going to continue to. So we have the capability to make the spare parts for your kiosk here, but the key element to that is the software.
Yeah.
So we are still not planning to do anything about the kiosk software. We're still licensing that from FE Tech. And FE Tech will continue to support that with us.
But how much development are you going to put into it? Am I reading it right? You're going to develop your own kiosk? Well, you have your own kiosk.
The kiosk we have at the moment is the FE Tech kiosk made in the UK. But with the FE Tech software, which is still developed by FE Tech in Australia.
Okay, so there's still a long-term commitment to
absolutely,
the FE Tech software.
Yeah. So all the kiosk software at the moment, you can see we're busily redeveloping Sentry Cloud, which is a big project in itself. So even if we wanted to, we don't have the bandwidth to redevelop some kiosk software. So it's as far as we're concerned, the FE Tech relationship is a long-term one.
Out of interest with access control systems, obviously you do a lot of business with giving you bonus for their products. Do you see yourself moving into manufacture of turnstiles and gates, or
not at this stage? That's specialist stuff. So we're talking about specific electronic stuff that works with our software. So maybe the RV2s, the interfaces and stuff like that.
Great.
So we have no interest in manufacturing gates at this stage. Yeah.
So we're just going to use IDL now, so they're manufactured in Britain anyway.
Right, okay.
Good. And so if you have any other concerns about that, then we'll be happy to provide you with some written reassurance about it, yeah?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Good. Any other questions? Well, I'm going to now hand over to Brian and Jonathan to talk about product roadmaps.
Yes, my name's Brian Reid and I'm the technical director here at Telepen, what this is called Telepen right now. I've been here a very short period of time as well, since last September. So similar journey to Simon. I came here and then we had a whole series of lockdowns and changes and all the rest of it, but we've managed to work our way through those periods of time. Prior to that, I spent the last 5 years before that working for Ocado as part of their product development leadership team. So we developed all the autonomous vehicles that they love showing on BBC. So kind of automation, big systems, that's kind of been my background for a long period of time. So coming here is quite a change for me, and Simon said, I said to Simon, well, I'm not sure. He said, we're going to have great fun here, we're going to do brilliant things. And yeah, so far, a year in, I haven't regretted it. Sometimes I swear a lot, but we haven't regretted it. And one of the things we talked about very early on in the days was identifying products that we wanted to change, we wanted to upgrade and improve on. And how that resource pool would look as we did it. And as Simon said, the first thing we did was look at one of our microwave boards, predominantly driving into the future, driving into the connectivity world, I'm going to say it properly. And that led us to working with Jonathan and Firebase. Then when Simon and I were talking, we were identifying all this resource and all this technical capability we would love to have in the organisation. And it was literally checking a list of the people and the capability that we had in Firebase. So it was a very natural thing to kind of say, actually, you know what, we have a common interest here. A union is really important to us. So do you want to do a bit about Firebase, or do you want me to keep rambling on?
Do you have a presentation to offer?
No, I don't actually.
So Firebase incorporated it in 2009. Primarily for the last 12 years we've been doing engineering consultancy. So that is taking customers with a diverse range of technology and whether it be concepts or existing products and modernising them, developing ideas. So really we started out with electronics, embedded software. We started going through to doing manufacture. So any circuit boards that get manufactured out of Bristol, they're on shiny machines, they're produced entirely with renewable energy, so there's important aspects of the way that we produce and the way that we work. We have a very nice working environment where everybody's respected, and we try and engage our engineers really to come up with new ideas that can really apply technology, just not for technology's sake, but ultimately so we have a good user experience at the end of the day. People don't care necessarily about the technology, despite that it breaks our hearts behind the product. Is about how usable the product is. So, as you mentioned, we've been working with Telepen for over the last year on another product, and there's a bit of a emerging of requirements from Telepen's side, and also we just felt as a company we could really work with. So that's what culminated last month with the acquisition, which is means a lot of this is, obviously I haven't met you guys before, so it's nice to meet you all, the actual customer base, and yeah, we're trying to get on top of learn a little bit about the product range and how we can help and look forward, not just for what's happening next year, but over the next 5-10 years and what the roadmap might look like.
So I guess the important question is for you guys is what are we focusing on and why are we focusing on particular aspects of the product. And we're going to talk about the room booking app, and one of the primary reasons we're focusing on that is it's one of the main customer-facing elements of what we do, so it has to be right. Our goal is to take the Sentry system. The first thing we identified was our hardware. Our hardware is old but quite well structured. So we are focusing on our Sentry system and what we can do with our Sentry system going forward. And in particular, turning on my phone.
He's a man in the man.
A man. Yeah.
I hate to disillusion him, it's the company phone system. So.
that was Mr. Pickles. So where we're looking at with the Sentry system is, I think as the guy said, it grew very much organically, and it was slightly disconnected. So that was our primary focus, it is the core of our product portfolio, it's the core of what we're doing. So that's where we're focusing a lot of our effort on in the next year. So we will create a whole new cloud platform. Behind that is effectively the entire system is being rewritten from bottom up. We're changing software aspects of it. Most of our system is written in a computer language called Delphi, which is pretty old, and despite our amazing programmers who are both out having a cigarette right now probably, working in it. It's a difficult language to use. It makes things like analytics much harder. So we're creating that entire platform. We're moving into the cloud because, as recognised by Dan, idiosyncrasies in people's IT systems and servers tend to affect the behaviour of the system. If that's in the cloud, you don't have to worry about any of those things. And that's one of our primary focuses. The second focus, as Simon said, is around our kiosk solution. It will, go to manufacturing our own kiosks, helps us control the quality of those kiosks, helps us reduce lead times on them, and helps us make sure that we have a sustainable product going forward as well. The final aspect of what we're really looking at is our existing technology and the maintainability of that. So it will be probably opaque to you guys, but we're looking at updating our control mechanisms within the gates. We may do something a little bit fun. The thing you may notice is we may do something a little bit funky with the pyramid on top. And that would be good getting your opinion on that and whether or not you like it or don't like it. It's a bit changeable. But what that means for us is that we have a capability going forward, and we make sure that at any time we are maintaining our support for you guys. Really the main thing on that is as we get more of this technology, we're able to diagnose and support problems more remotely, which is good for us because we don't have to send an engineer out, but it's also very good for you guys because it means that we're able to respond far more quickly than we can do now. Other people, I don't know whether we have any Onyx customers here, do we?
DMU here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Onyx is again coming into that part of the Century Cloud system. So we will completely recreate Onyx, and we'll be looking at a different attendance tracking solutions as well to complement Onyx or allow people with smaller requirements to use it. So it'll probably be an app-based system that, pretty similar to a scan and entry app-based system. And that's where we are today. Pretty excited about technology, and as I say to people, there's stuff on our roadmap because now that we've got together, I'm allowed to play in Jonathan's toys, and there's loads of things that I can see that are kind of, we could have that. We've got a really cool people counter. Today we use an off-the-shelf people counter. This is really cool. It's wireless, plugs in. It's brilliant for us, and we'll be looking to integrate that in the future as well. So a little bit, this should be in further, but we're quite excited about what we're doing and where we're going in the future. And what we want to do is, my kind of primary drive is as well, is to be very customer driven by these developments. So we'll probably get fed up with us asking, what do you think of this, what do you think of that? But we will be looking for people to help us beta test stuff and give feedback and change stuff. And that's where we are. And it's